All right, a little bit of an unboxing or unveiling video here. I got this shipment that came in today. It's some parts for the truck. This is a auxiliary tank that has been custom made by ATTA or ATTA. It's based on one of their kind of turnkey models, and then I had them customize it with a few different changes. And it's going to go in my F450 here. What's neat about this tank is it's designed to fit underneath this canister bed cover, so it's L-shaped, right? It'll go underneath the canister bed cover. It will make up or make use rather of the space that is underneath that cover, and then it's L-shaped, so it'll come up. Yet the whole tank is beneath the bed rails, so my bed cover will still close. And it includes both a 52-gallon tank and a toolbox. So kind of a combination unit that's gonna all fit under the rails. It's gonna add an additional 52 gallons. The 450's got a 48-gallon tank, so it'll be a total of 100 gallons of fuel, which is much further than me or any of my family's bladders can go. But let's check this thing out. All right, I think I pulled all the staples and packing items out of here. Oh man, that is good looking. So I also had them, normally it's finished in raw aluminum. I had it powder coated, which is pretty kick-ass. All right, let's see this thing. So this is actually, the orientation is correct here. So this is like forward, this would be the front, right? This L portion that's down low will sit underneath that bed cover. And then the toolbox, as you can see, is this top section. And let's just see, oh yeah, look at that. Single, it's got two handles on it, but each handle will open it, or either handle will open it, I should say. And then it's kind of hard to see, but down in here that's where the sending unit goes. It's an auxiliary tank, but it's not a gravity fed. It's all pump based. So it's got a sending unit, it's got a gauge, it's got a whole fill system that comes with it, an electronic fill system. Let's take a look at the other side. And what I had customized, the sizes are all kind of turnkey from their website. Like, this is an available product that they have. But what I had customized is normally the fill neck is external and is down here on the kind of left-hand side of the tank. I did not like that at all. As that would sit in your bed, as you're hauling stuff around, anything that would bump up against that could potentially rupture that fill neck and leak, 52 gallons of diesel fuel all over your bed and whatnot. So I had to move the fill neck to the inside. And so you sacrifice, obviously, some tool space, a little bit, but you add that extra protection for the fill neck, which is pretty cool. And you can see they sort of encased it, with a little frame here to prevent, spilling and whatnot, or at least easier cleanup spilling. But man, this thing is sweet. I'm gonna put some lights in here. But yeah, so that's the whole fill system here. So you get this big toolbox, and then under the toolbox, you can kind of see, is the longer tank, which is 52 gallons. Cool, let's just get this thing unboxed and installed and see how it looks. All right, so here's a little more detail on this auxiliary tank. One thing that's really nice is that the toolbox actually just lifts off of this tank. That's gonna make installation, it's gonna make any kind of maintenance or service on the sending unit much easier, man. I was a little bit concerned that if there was ever a problem with either my canister cover or the sending unit, that you'd have to basically uninstall all this stuff, both the cover and the tank, in order to service it. But fortunately, that's not the case. So it's really just a rectangular tank, pretty shallow, but very broad, right? Very wide. It's got some depth to it. That's where the 52 gallons come from. And then, like I said, the fill neck was moved over. And when you set the toolbox on, that pops through, into the toolbox section. So this kit is pretty nice. It comes with, the sending unit, which I just have sitting in there. And then let me just show you the toolbox here real quick. So then here's the toolbox, right? It just comes off. It's kind of a standard size and depth toolbox. It's been customized a bit to clear the sending unit. And then of course the fill neck, hole basically looks like that. you know, ATTA makes all their own, you know, they're an aluminum shop, so they make all their own toolboxes and tanks and so forth. So while this might look like, you know, your average off-the-shelf toolbox, it's actually something that they manufacture. And then that toolbox just sits on here and it mounts to these rails that are on the side. So it's going to make it easy, you know, easier from an installation standpoint. I can get the tank all installed, and then come back and set the toolbox on, and there's enough room in here to slide in the mounting hardware that will screw down the toolbox. They also come with, you know, this installation rail. So what you'll do is you'll basically install this rail, screw the rail down to the bed, and then the front feet on this tank slide underneath the rail. That's kind of how you hook the front end of this underneath this rail and sort of attach it on the forward section of the truck. And then you come back on the rear and you basically bolt down. There's a couple lag screws that you put through this foot on the rear to secure the whole tank in place. The installation comes with a really impressive fill system. They call it their Freedom Fill auxiliary system. It's sort of this automated unit. I've been reading through all the directions and everything. Comes with a gauge and a switch, and you know, for mine it's in a Super Duty, so I'll use the upfitter switches basically to you know, control or actuate, you know, the system. But sort of the way it works is it's got an external pump. It's got a real nice Carter pump that is an external unit. Kind of looks like, well, it's a mechanical one, but external pump that you'll mount to the frame. You'll pull through the fuel supply from the sending unit. You'll pull that through to the fill neck of your truck. And then the way the Freedom Fill system works is when the tank is below a half of a tank, so you tap it into your existing sending unit. So this is calibrated for a Ford truck. So it comes with this control box. It's calibrated for a Ford truck, and you'll tap it into your existing sending unit. When the truck's fuel level gets below a half of a tank, when the unit is on, it will automatically begin filling the primary fuel tank, right? So if it's below a half tank, the factory fuel gauge is below a half tank, this system will turn on. It will fill the primary tank up to 3/4 of a tank, and then it'll shut off. And so that's kind of the key. That's the difference between these pump-based systems and these automatic systems from that of a gravity feed system or even inferior pump systems, is that you can get into a lot of trouble, especially with gravity feed. You know, when you turn on that gravity feed pump or valve, you know, if it's an electronic valve, when you turn that on, it's just going to fill, right? And gravity, you know, the fuel in the bed of the truck is obviously, you know, higher than the factory or the primary tank. It's going to fill that tank until it's completely full. And when it's completely full, it's not going to stop, right? It's going to continue to fill that tank. It's going to overflow that tank. It's going to all come out, you know, through your overflow system. It's going to leak down, you know, potentially onto hot exhaust. You know, granted, I know we're talking diesel fuel here. It's not really as combustible as gasoline, but nevertheless, you know, with these DEF systems and whatnot, and you know, 1,000-degree EGTs, I certainly wouldn't want fuel, you know, dripping down on there. Anyways, so these Freedom fuel systems, or these automatic, you know, fill systems, they will shut off, right? So it gets the primary fuel tank up to 3/4 of a tank, and then it shuts off. And that way you can leave this system on. You can kind of leave it on as you're in transit when you're doing a big tow or cruising down the road. You can leave the system on. As it gets below a half of a tank, it will turn on. It will begin pumping. And of course you have a gauge here as well that will control, you know, that you can monitor the auxiliary tank and the level of, you know, diesel in the auxiliary tank. So anyways, this is just kind of how this system works. Let me finish getting this sending unit installed, kind of temporarily wired up, and get this unit set in the truck, get the canister on top of this tank, and we'll go from there. All right, so another quick view of how this tank's gonna install. I have this lock plate already put in the truck here. It's basically just a piece of angle iron, but the way this works is you bolt this down through the truck bed. There happens to be the front cross member for the bed runs up here. I'll show you what that looks like underneath. So they give you these real long carriage bolts that basically will pass through the top of the bed and then through that cross member as well, so you get a nice secure, you know, material to hold this plate down. And then the way it works is you leave this loose, and the tank has 2 legs on the front that are going to slide underneath here as you push it all the way forward. Then you tighten the bolts down, and then what you'll do is on the front of the tank is where you're going to actually drill two more holes in the bed, and use a couple more lag screws. So it's kind of like tongue and groove in the front, and then you secure it down in the back. Let me show you what they look like underneath. All right, so here we are under the bed. That's the front cross member there, and you can see, let me get on the other side of the frame, you can see that there's my lag bolt. Hopefully that comes in all right. Yeah, so I had to move it around a little bit from the way they had recommended it in the directions. You know, this product is sort of universal, and every truck's a little bit different. So I moved around the mount up on that angle iron, what they call the lockdown plate. I moved around where I wanted to drill, you know, my holes for it, so that it would straddle and actually catch material, you know, in between these factory holes that you see in this cross member. But anyways, both sides are the same, and that's what it looks like. Just all centered up in that cross member there. A lot of material holding down the front of that plate. All right, so here's the finished tank installation. You can see how it fits in the bed. Let me get a bigger, wider angle here. Pretty big tank. You know, it fits up underneath the bed cover, as I was saying. And then all the wiring and the plumbing, the supply line, the return line, all run through the bed knockout, you know, at the front of the bed there. And you can see it's all mounted down, looks good. The toolbox works really well, you know, so it's just a hand pull, it opens up, and you can kind of see the depth. It's really big, you know, for a toolbox sitting on top of an auxiliary tank. And then you can see that when the lid is opened, it comes just right up against the seal on the bed cover, which is really nice. Like, that's the top length of the piston rods here. It's as far as they'll go, and it just barely rests up against the bed cover. So it's nice that there's no interference there, you know, as far as the lid opening. But that's it. Let me show you some of the plumbing and wiring that I've done here. Okay, so here we are underneath the rig. Here you can see the fill neck. Move this out of the way. You can see the fill neck here. That's a factory fill neck. And the way this works is you tap in over here. You tap into the vent line, the factory vent line. Now on the Fords, and you install this vent line adapter in here that is basically a 2AT. It allows for the auxiliary tank off of the pump to supply the fuel source, you know, into the vent system, and then it allows for the auxiliary tank to also vent through the vent line. Now on these Fords, the vent system is enclosed or isolated, you know, into the tank, so you can fill back through the vent system, which is the way this whole, you know, system works. So what I had to do is I had to remove the fill neck. So you took the fill neck out. I had to actually cut back. You know, the Fords use a solid steel vent line all the way up to where it connects to the tank, which is right here. And I basically had to cut some of that out. And then the kit is very thorough. Like, it includes everything you would need. It included this additional adapter, just a little hose piece, 3/4 inch hose, that will allow you to do exactly what I did, which is cut back the vent line in order to allow enough room to install this vent line adapter that comes with the kit. That's basically what it looks like. And then here's the pump. So this is the Carter pump that came with the kit, and I have it just installed right off of the frame. The Fords use a box frame design. I think everybody's using box frame these days. And so what I did is I just drilled 2 holes in it. I then tapped those holes, and I tapped it out for these bolts that I had. And then you can see it's mounted on these rubber bushings up here, so you get the anti-dampening, you know, when the pump's running. And that's kind of how it's all wired up there. So you have this line here is the feed from the auxiliary tank. So this is the source from the auxiliary tank. It comes into the pump. The pump obviously then pressurizes this whole source and pushes it or pumps it all the way up into this fill line adapter, which will fill the tank. That's how it all works. This is just temporary, this wiring. You can see I'm not done with the wiring on this yet, but that's basically the plumbing, you know, side of the house. So the Freedom Transfer kit that comes with this aux tank comes with a nice plastic gauge pod. that includes both a switch and a gauge, and it's intended to be mounted up on your dash somewhere, presumably hanging off the window. It comes with a really nice ram mount with a suction cup, which will allow you to kind of fix it to the window, probably up in the driver kind of corner area. Well, this particular vehicle, this is my personal vehicle. It is primarily used for towing, but I don't need it set up with, you know, constant access to the auxiliary tank button as well as the gauge. So I sort of hid it. What I did is I put it in my glove box. So as you open up the glove box, boom, there's that, the gauge pod. It includes the gauge, it includes a button. It's just nicely tucked away in there. It is actually mounted, it's bolted down from the back side of the glove box there. And then that way, whenever I want to use the system, I actually turn it on with the upfitter switches. And that will enable the system, and it'll take over from there. The only reason you need to access this pod is if you want to check the level, you know, the fuel level of the aux tank. So that's one idea, is just to bury it away like I have. All right, so that wraps up the installation. The tank is installed, the plumbing is all done, all the electrical has been completed, the gauge pod that controls the system's over there. So let's fire it up. So for me, it's wired up off of one of the 25 amp relays. Let me go ahead and just turn that on. It happens to be the first aux switch. And then over here, you can turn on the gauge itself, the system. So now the system is running. You see the red light on. You can see that that's my actual aux tank fluid level. I did have it completely filled up. I've since tested the system already to make sure it's working correctly. But the system is running right now. So I am at... So here you can see the system is done filling. So it's filled me up to a half of a tank. And the unit is turned itself off, which is nice. As soon as I drop below, I'm literally right at the edge here. As soon as I drop below a half of a tank, which even though this gauge says it's below a half a tank, this unit is running off the actual sending unit voltage and impedance in order to determine the fuel level. It will kick back on. So I can actually make it turn on if I completely turn off the system here. As soon as I turn everything back on, you'll actually hear it'll run the pump, and the pump will run for a little bit. Let's see if we can capture that. Yeah, see, you can hear it prime up, and system ran. It determined that the primary tank is full enough that it didn't need any additional fuel, and it went ahead and shut down. So pretty cool. Last night when I was testing the system, I was literally almost on I had about 1/8 of a tank. I mean, it was really low. I filled the aux tank all the way up, all 52 gallons, turned the system on, and it ran. It ran and ran and ran, and it pumped out a quarter, little more than a quarter of the aux tank, and filled me up to a half of a tank here. So it's neat that the system will, you know, continue to run in that fashion. If I would have left it running, I actually shut it down. If I would have left it running, it's supposed to get me up to 3/4 of a tank before it turns off. So I'll have to look at the documentation there. But overall, the system works well. You can imagine going down the road, and as you drop below a half of a tank, you start getting into that, you know, lower half of the primary tank. The system will always be on, you know, it'll automatically be on, and it'll just re-engage itself and start automatically filling. So what I would imagine you'll see is you'll never really get below a half a tank. It'll just constantly keep filling and filling and filling, and you'll watch the aux tank level until it's depleted, in which case the system will shut off, and then you'll start burning, you know, that lower half of the tank until you get close to empty, in which case you'll have to fill both the aux and the primary tank. So that's it. That completes this the installation of this system, and I'm pretty happy. I can't wait to fill the toolbox up and be able to start using this while out camping.